I'm Jason Toctagian, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk Show. And today we have a very special guest. He is the owner and the pit master of Destination Smokehouse. I'm sure you've seen him, and I'm sure you've seen all the food on Instagram. Nick Yepremian. Nick, how you doing today, man?
It's a pleasure, man. I'm glad that you wanted to talk. We're at the restaurant right now. It's kind of the middle of lunch, but we have a nice crowd inside. I wanted you to see the smokers. This is what we cook on, but
That's
it's a
so
blessing
cool.
for having me.
Absolutely, man. I mean, this is a very unique talk show episode. Usually, we're sitting down, interview style, and we're not really moving too much. This time, I'm so glad that the folks in the audience will get to experience, just kind of the behind the scenes and looking at everything at Destination Smokehouse. And I'm sure you started at your favorite place, which is where all the smokers and all the pits are.
So this is where it all started for us. Obviously, not on grills this size. When we started at our first location, it was on a grill, about as wide as my arms could reach. And we cooked on there for about 4 months until we started getting into smokers like this. This one right here was our baby in our first location. We cooked everything on here. And the Santa Fe logo that you see on there, we were at an old train station where the Santa Fe line used to run through. So it's just keeping all that together. I'm in an interview right now. Is everything okay? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Let everybody know. Let everybody know. So this is our head chef, Renato. He's from Brazil. He's an amazing chef. He's got his hands in everything. But yeah, just let everybody know I need like a half hour, okay? All right, cool. But yeah, no, so this is where everything got started when we did barbecue. But I'm going to walk into the restaurant really quick and just show you. I actually cut my teeth in a coffee shop that we turned into a barbecue restaurant. So that's where all my experience originally came from, knowing how to run a coffee shop. And right now,
Wow.
this is our crowd that we have, and we've just been very blessed. For those of you who've seen us on social media, seen my brother Walter, and all the people that he's drawn in, this is what the end result is right now. Hey, what's up, brother? And it's a
That is so
blessing.
amazing.
We don't take it for granted. We know this isn't normal. Actually, over here, you can see that's where we used to have about 30 or 40 seats available, and we had to pull them out because the line was getting too long outside, and we didn't want to annoy our tenants, other tenants, too much. So we brought our line inside. And we
That
also
is
feel like the
wow.
energy here at the restaurant is special. Like we want people to be inside. We don't want people to be outside waiting to be a part of it. So
Right. And you
yeah.
guys open up 11 a.m. Tuesday through Sunday every week, right?
Yeah, the only day we're closed is Monday. We do sell out. On the weekends, it's full all day. So you have the line inside, the line outside. This used to be another 30 or 40 seats too. So as you can tell, I'm very excited. I'm proud of what we built, and it's been great.
That's amazing, man. I mean, you guys passed a million followers on Instagram, and you guys are now at 1.1. You guys are constantly growing on social media. Just tell me what that has been like for you guys.
In about like 3 months, we went from 3,000 to a million. And it was mainly because what took us so far with the oxtail now started to hit with more universal barbecue meats. So brisket and beef rib. One of the things I'm really proud of is that I learned a lot about barbecue really fast so that I could be a part of a team that creates this amazing barbecue. But the same thing with social media. It's the last thing that I still do 90% more or more by myself. I turned over the cooking to a team. I turned over the running of the restaurant to a team. Marketing is all Walter. I just shoot, I edit, I post. And I would say the hardest thing right now is dealing with all the messages and people that want to come in, or they're celebrities or athletes or, food influencers. And you want to be respectful to everybody, but it gets challenging. And, you also want to make sure people are here for the right reason too. I want to make sure. Thank you guys. Yeah, you want to make sure people are here for the food and the whole experience. When
Yeah.
people are coming for like the viral reasons and there's no substance behind it, it's not really what we're looking for. But I even think we convert those people that might have just come here for some goofy reason. They see the atmosphere and the food and the types of people that are here. That's the other crazy thing is, you see every walk of life in this restaurant. Everybody's smiling, dancing to the same music, eating the same food, sometimes sharing tables. And it's just really a blessing. And for it to happen the way that it did, social media was a really big part of it.
That's really awesome, Nick. I want to talk more about, everything that you're doing with Destination Smokehouse. I want folks at home to know a little bit about you, though, as far as how you got into the culinary world, how you started to, think to yourself that you wanted to start a business and get into the world of food, who would you say kind of helped you and inspired you to get into the world of food?
So as a kid, I was in the food business because of my parents, but not in hospitality. They had a chocolate manufacturing company, so I grew up around that. When I was 16, at 14, we knew we were starting to have trouble, but at 16, my parents lost everything, had to start all over again. So I was totally out of that world for like about 20 years. My parents started a coffee shop, and it was something I really had zero involvement in. The only ironic thing I did was I named it. That was the only thing. I named a destination coffee bar, but the word destination stuck, and it's been really great for us. But no, when I finally got involved in the coffee shop, it was 2019 January. My father, that's where my Armenian comes from. My dad was 100% Armenian from Cyprus. We were very close. He passed away at 78, and had a great life. Spent a lot of time with him. It was a blessing. But he really wanted that coffee shop to be something. And when it was offered to me, I said yes because I had very few prospects outside of that were going to be much better than running my own business. So I started doing it. At that point, I hadn't even been a coffee drinker. I had to learn all about what good coffee is supposed to taste like. And that was my introduction. Now, the biggest inspiration as far as barbecue and running a restaurant has been Walter Johnson, the gentleman you see in all our videos. He was the originator of us doing barbecue. He was the crazy guy that he convinced me that it made sense to cook barbecue out of a coffee shop. So you can tell he's a very convincing person, smart too, very smart. But he was showing me stuff before the barbecue that we could run the coffee shop more like a restaurant. And that was my opening to seeing like there was really no limits and let's just try things. I had this restaurant that was inexpensive to run, but it was still a real business. So I could take all these chances. I could afford to make small or big mistakes. And if I adjusted fast, we found success. So credit my mom a lot. Her name's Patricia, amazing woman. She taught me so much. She's still, every day we talk 3-4 times a day, very close. My dad, Krekor, he was an amazing man. He came from very little in Cyprus and built up a life in this country for our family. And then Walter Johnson, those are the biggest influences.
Wow, that's really amazing, and that's interesting because my grandma, she was actually born in Nicosia in Cyprus, so
Oh, no
that's
way.
actually quite interesting.
Larnaca, that's where my family was from, Larnaca.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
so interesting. It's
Last
such a
time I
small
went,
world, man. It's such a
definitely.
small
When's
world.
the last time you've been? I've been to Cyprus in about 20 years, and I know it's
Really, I've
totally
never been to
different.
Cyprus, so one day I want to go. I really want to check out that country.
Yeah, my brother's been back, my mom's been back, and they say it's very touristy now, but it's still beautiful. And
Yeah.
maybe we'll go back.
That's awesome, man. I want to talk to you about Walter because I want to know how you got to meet him, where you met him, how that first, interaction was with him because he is the character that so many people, tie Destination Smokehouse with, and the tendernism is always
Yes.
something that's gonna be trending and everyone's gonna remember him for.
He came into the restaurant when it was a coffee shop on a Sunday with his wife. And I recall like it was yesterday because he had on this really nice brown suit with a brown hat, and his wife was dressed. They're just very well dressed couple. So I noticed them, but I didn't talk to them. My mom was talking to them. And like at the end of the day, I was like, "Hey, mom, who is that couple you're talking to?" And she's like, "Well, he said he's from New Orleans and he used to be a chef and he wants to work in a kitchen and he can make this really good gumbo. We have to try." So I was like, "Okay, that's cool. Sounds good. Gumbo, guy from New Orleans. All right, let's see." So he shows up the next Monday, all right, with us not talking at all in a chef's coat. And I was always the first one there. He's outside of the gate waiting for me to get there. Like, man, who the heck is this guy? And then I kind of put it together. It was a guy in the brown suit. And I said, "Hey, listen, I haven't really spoken to my mom that much about this yet. I'll call you tomorrow and we'll get started." Right. So I called him, came in the next day. And then from then on, for about 3 months straight, he and I were like running that place where I was still handling the coffee and the sandwiches, but he was bringing these upgrades to the menu. And the gumbo was an upgrade for sure. Mess around with some other stuff, but he was just teaching me restaurant tricks, right? But we grew close pretty fast. But COVID hit, and we closed for 2 months, like a lot of people did. And that's where barbecue came in. He said, "Nick, he's like, you remember those ribs I cooked for you in the oven that one day?" He's like, "Well, how about we do it on a grill and we open up the coffee shop with barbecue?" And after some convincing, it made some sense. I decided let's try it. And coffee in about 2 years disappeared off our menu because we tried to keep coffee and barbecue together at the same time, but eventually barbecue took over.
Wow, that was what
Yeah,
ended up
Walter's
reigning
amazing.
supreme.
He's so much more than what people see him on camera. Like he's that same guy, but there's a depth to him. There's a lot of life experience there, and I share that with people as much as I can. Take away all the food stuff. Most that Walter's done for me is just help me be a better person. And that sounds crazy because we've had this brother relationship more than like a father or uncle relationship, and I think that we both helped each other a lot. People that know us, will probably be like, wondering what I mean by that, because they've seen both sides of our relationship being more like brothers than always him being the elder. But there's a lot of elder wisdom in him, and he's been great. My wife that I'm with now, he was very helpful in that situation, that I don't really want to go into. But he was just like, when I needed advice and my dad wasn't there, he was there. And he's a very special person, and he means a lot to me.
Yeah, he has like a lot of wisdom and he's been there for you. Basically, what you're saying is not just with
Yes.
work, but outside of work.
Mostly out of work. That's the crazy part. Like, that's the thing people don't get. Like, this business has so many strong people inside that make this business tick. Walter and our relationship is more about being family and us both being a part of this business. When I started cooking barbecue about 3 months after we started, it was a total shift from how we started with Walter cooking. And there was a little bit of friction there between both of us because his style was different than the style that we cook now, what I was just learning. I was trying to achieve perfection with brisket. And to do that, you have to pay a lot of attention to detail. You cook on an offset smoker. These are just things that I learned thinking that this was the way to do barbecue. And it turned into something that people started driving in from other cities. And now people are flying in from other states and other countries to eat our food. So it's always been something where our friendship has been more of like a brotherhood. And I always make sure that people know that because people that know our story know that there's been ups and downs and it hasn't always been perfect. And friends don't do that. Friends, sometimes they're only in your life for like a season, right? We've known each other for a very long time. We've been there for each other when we both needed each other in good times and in bad. And when I've been low, for whatever reason, he has been this rocket ship that shot me back up to be positive again. So it's just a very cool relationship to have.
That
Yeah.
is that is so cool. I mean, do you remember the first viral video that you and Walter made together and just kind of what that
Yes.
reaction was like, how that kind of motivated things and got things into another gear for the business and for everybody there?
So there's two waves. All right. We went from 55,000 to about 300,000 on Instagram off of Oxtail. Excuse me,
Wow.
guys, really quick. Off of the Oxtail videos. And then after that, we kind of had this nice period of about a year and a half doing that. Just recently, in the last 3 months, the Beeford video that we shot, that actually I'm going to walk by the area, see it was right over here is where we shot it. That was just in the morning before we opened. And that was just his idea, which I didn't even tell him until afterwards. It's like, dude, I didn't even want to shoot a Beeford video. I thought it was a bad idea because it's so expensive. Wall, I'm going to chop it here, I'm going to chop it there, and watch this thing go viral. And within like a couple hours, we could tell it was going to hit 1 million overnight and actually did 2 million overnight. I think it's at like 30 million now just on our Instagram. But the thing that drove it the most, I would say it probably has, and I'm not trying to sound hyperbolic, if we tallied up every account that is reposted or downloaded and shared in a different way, it's probably at 1 billion views. Because I've seen accounts that have 20 and 30 million views on videos of us on their own. So I guess the compilation of about 4 or 5 tendernism videos has turned into a lot of views. It's like it's ridiculous at this point.
I mean, that just shows how many people from all over the country, all over the world are now coming to your guys' place. I mean, what was the one guest that came from a different part of the world that you weren't expecting?
It's what's been impressive to me is not like their celebrity or their stature. It's that when they come here, they're actually impressed by this place. And these are people who have traveled all over the world. I'm sure they have stuff like thrown at them all the time. Hey, please come to our place, this, that, and the third. And they leave saying like, wow, this is like different. We've never seen this before.
Right.
I had
And
one guy say to me the other day, he's like, dude, he's like, you've got every walk of life. He's like, I see what you're doing here. I was like, what do you mean by that, sir? And he's like, no, I like it. He's like, I see you got a little bit of everybody in here. And he's like, everybody's having a good time. He's like, keep it up. And again, not intentional. We're not trying to save the world here, but in a roundabout way, you're seeing these types of effects. And it's just really fun to be a part of it. We don't want to miss a day. Walter and I, like I said, neither one of us cook anymore. Neither one of us actually do any of the operational stuff like we used to. But being here every day is so important for the quality, for the atmosphere. Definitely people want to come in and meet Walt. Every once in a while, I hear people say, "Is that the owner?" Like sometimes people want to meet me, but really, this whole thing, this whole wave right now is built on Walt and those videos. And we went out this morning to greet the line. And there was a guy that was in town from Detroit, and he messaged me a few weeks ago. And when he was like, "Hey, I'm here," he's like, "I just want to let you guys know I'm out in line." So Walt kind of came in from another door and said, "Hey, who's here from Detroit?" And the guy said who he was. They went over and talked and shot a video. But I have a video of it. There's about 10 phones up of people filming this interaction and also just seeing Walt. So I stood back smiling because I'm so proud of what we've accomplished, and to see people reacting to this, like, it's really special. And not in the corny, cliche way. It does feel like something we've never experienced before. It's great. It is very strange, and not that it's not cool or it's nice to have people admire you, though. I think a lot of people want that, but it's that the respect first comes from when they come here. They really enjoy the place. And we were in Burbank the other day, and Walter was getting noticed like crazy at this bakery. And I just posted a video. It was like 3 different interactions with people who were like really happy to see him. And they're calling him the Tendernism guy. So that's something that we need to adjust. I want people to know his name is Walter Johnson, and he's just not the Tendernism guy. But yeah, no, all this stuff has just been great, and feeling like a celebrity is kind of cool. But I think that since we are normal people, regular people, people just like what we do, because I think what we do is kind of, I wouldn't say extraordinary. What's the right word? We're doing things at a level that people can really look at and say, "Wow, those guys are really doing something." But it's normal stuff. We're making food. We have a restaurant. We're creating content around that food.
Right.
It's not like we're doing something that is hard for other people to fathom. Like, I can't dunk a basketball. I don't know how to fly a plane, but we're making really great food, and I think that's relatable to a lot of people. It's something that they can understand. And we're just showing.
Wow. Looks like you're in the kitchen. Can
Area right there.
show us a little bit of the food?
And then pork ribs on the other station. We have another station over here where all the sandwiches and tacos and all the bread gets made. And this is our expo line where all the orders get called out. But anyhow,
that's where all the magic happens.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, when you look back at everything you guys have achieved, starting from a coffee shop to now having this major restaurant and lines out the door every single day, do you have any future goals? Anything that you want to kind of work towards now, or are you kind of just living in the moment right now?
Definitely living in the moment, but with plans of expansion and doing more. We've only gotten this far because I'm not satisfied very easily. I'm very content. I feel like I'm at the most peace I've been at in a very long time, but I want more because I know we can do more, and I see the effect that it's having on people, and it feels good to be a part of that. I do think that expansion into another location is our next step, and we're thinking it has to be somewhere far enough away from here where we're not making it hard for people to decide which one to go to. So the East Coast does kind of fit that bill. We're looking maybe somewhere in the South, but without really being that far into the process, I don't really want to say anything. But
Right.
and you're also in another part of, we just leased this space about 4 months ago. We haven't even gotten to the point yet to put any of the plans together where we're actually starting the permitting process yet, but in about a month we will. And this is going to be like a live entertainment venue that is going to not really be like a concert hall, but it'll be something that will be in conjunction with next door. At least that's what our plans are. to have people that are part of the restaurant come over, have live music. We have a DJ on the weekends, which people love, but I also want to incorporate live music, even comedy. That's the thing with all these celebrities and people that are funny or can sing or can dance or can act. Why not have a place where they can showcase that? And if they love our food and that's still what they do for a living, I think performing at our venue would work. So I think that in those other cities, this will be a huge piece to our restaurant because I can't split Walter up in 4 different locations, right?
Right.
Whoever it is, even if it's Reynaldo or me or Butcher Bill, whoever it is, Walter French, Josh, our head of security, who's also our host, you can't split any of these people up. So obviously, each place is going to have people that people can kind of connect to. But the live entertainment side, I think that if every city we can tap into what the scene is there with, maybe local music, maybe some more well-known people that are from that area to perform. And that will be our way to have that same energy and vibe where people want to go to destination. Because it's not just about food anymore. People are coming to us for like an experience where they can have fun. No one goes to the movies anymore. Concerts are kind of cool, but they've fallen a little bit. Pro sports isn't the same anymore. So I feel like when people come here, this is a way to spend money and be entertained and not just eat food, but to actually, have fun and not think about all the things that are bothering them about their daily life, and maybe find some happiness here so they
Right.
can go back to their life and change something, maybe if it's making them unhappy, or see something that they weren't even thinking was possible. Like, well, you know what? I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I'm doing this thing for 10 years and driving in all this traffic just so I can go home again and start all over again. Maybe I'll think of something that I really want to do. And whatever the inspiration is, we're not going to stop. We love this. Food is where we started. Food is what made us who we are. So that's always going to be number one. But I just think that growing the business is my goal, and I don't see any reason to stop.
Yeah, and having the Armenian Italian background that you have, it also just goes to show that, at a young age, we're also taught that food isn't just something that you eat and then you use as energy and you move on with your day. Food is something that brings people together. You have an experience together. And I want you to, tell me a little bit about that, just how that has been, the driving force of everything that you're doing, culturally too, with the Armenian and the Italian background.
That's an amazing question because that is a huge reason why I do what I do. My mom, actually, the Italian side, is a big reason why my Armenian family used to get together every Sunday and why we used to have these big family dinners. And it'd either be at my house, my Uncle Garo's house, my Uncle Berge's house, or our basically like surrogate uncle Parsec. We'd have it at his house, and it would always be, and they'd play around the golf. I would go. I was too young, but I would go sit in the golf cart and watch them play. Whoever's house it was would cook, and it was a lot of Armenian food. Most of the time, my Metzmeyer, she would cook most of the food if it was Armenian. If it was at my mom's house, it would be. It would always be something different. See, that's why destinations food tastes different. My mom never cooked the same recipe the same way twice. It was
Wow.
different every single time. And every time people would come over, they're like
So
expecting
cool.
the same good thing they had. And she would change it. And my dad and I would always get annoyed, but then we would eat it and it would be phenomenal. So that part of my background is really huge. Getting together on Sundays was one thing, but we saw each other all the time. We lived really close to each other when we all lived in Pennsylvania. My uncle Garo actually was a place kicker for the Dolphins in the 70s, and he won 2 Super Bowls with them. So,
Oh, Garo Yepremian.
yeah, it's my uncle.
That's your uncle. Wow, what a
Yeah.
connection.
Yeah, so the story is my dad came over here in 1959 to go to Indiana University. He was the oldest. He did really well in school, captain of this, captain of that, and he was able to go to school in Indiana. And soccer style place kicking was starting to become a thing because of the Gogolak brothers. And my dad saw it, and my uncle was a hell of a football player, soccer, and wanted him to come out, and he got him a scholarship at Butler University. And then when they found out that my uncle didn't have amateur status, he played professional soccer in England when he was like 16. My dad kind of pivoted and started sending letters to NFL teams. So my dad, being this overachiever, saw something for his brother and saw something for both of them. And my uncle's amazing. Obviously, I feel he should be in the Hall of Fame, but my dad said he didn't play long enough. Jan Stenerud made it in, and they're from the same era. And my uncle had a lot of good years, the same time that Stenerud did. But lot of people, unfortunately, used to remember my uncle for the kick against the Redskins, where he messed the kick up and tried to throw the ball and basically just floated in the air to Mike Bass, and he ran it back for a touchdown. I
Right.
remember Manny Fernandez tried to throw shade. He didn't try to do. He threw shade at my uncle, calling him a chicken shit or something like that. My
Oh
uncle's
my God.
5'8". He's not trained for this, you know. he say, listen, the Dolphins are an amazing team, and I wasn't even alive to see it. But when you go back and look at a lot of close games, a lot of the points that were scored were from my uncle. So you
Yeah.
needed a kicker in those days to win. And I think he did a really good job. But he was an amazing kicker. He won MVP of the All Program, I think 75, the Pro Bowl, and second the runner up to MVP that game was O.J. Simpson, and he won 2 Super Bowls, had a great career, very proud. It used to be whenever I said my name, someone would mention my uncle, but so many years have passed, it doesn't happen like that. But then through that, my dad, my first team my uncle played for was the Detroit Lions. My dad ended up working for Ford Motor Company and got really close to the Ford family. Then my uncle went and played for the Dolphins, and my dad got close to Joe Robbie. He was negotiating contracts for other players. Joe Robbie wanted my dad to be general manager of his soccer team. Joe Robbie also owned a soccer team. So from that, my dad became general manager of the New York Cosmos, that was owned by Warner Communications at the time, and the head of Atlantic Records, Ahmet Arudigan. I can't pronounce his name right all the time, but he's very well known in the music industry. That was like one of my dad's best friends. So my
Wow.
dad and my uncle made a lot of great connections and really showed my family what's possible. I say that a lot. You know, if a generation close to you hasn't shown you what's possible, it's really hard to break through.
Yeah.
And my dad and my uncle really did that for us. My mom too. You know, I mention my dad all the time because he's not here anymore, but I always forget how much my mom did and how much she still does. And I have to definitely mention her too.
Wow. That's so awesome to hear. I know Armenian Sports News is gonna love hearing this about Garo Yepremian and the connection. That's for
Yeah,
sure. We're gonna have that posted too. But
love
you
it.
know, that is awesome that the family connections and everything. It just still holds true for you and helps drive you and what you guys do. So I guess we're coming up on the end of the show. Unfortunately, I wish I could
Okay.
talk to you more, but is there anything else you want to leave us off on, just as far as when you look back at your guys' growth again? Whenever I reached out to you guys, you had 700,000 followers, and now when we're doing the interview, you have over 1.1 million followers.
It's nuts. The only thing I'll say is all of this stuff is amazing. Talking to you is great. I don't get to connect with a lot of Armenian people anymore, especially since my dad passed. So it's a blessing to be a part of this. Anything that I added to make someone's days better, I'm really just happy to be a part of this. And I like to talk, but I think I said enough. I think we kind of understand each other a little bit better now, and I'd love to talk to you again.
I would love to talk to you too, and hopefully one of these days, God willing, I'll be down there and trying all the food and the tendernism.
Just let me know.
I'll
VIP red
let you know.
carpet, okay?
I'll let you know, man. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
again for being on the talk show. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, man.
All right, Jason. Thank you, man. Talk to you
Take care.
soon.